and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everyone in between, it's time for the PCTechRadio show with your host today, Random Man.
Are you ready?
Ladies and gentlemen.
Aye, Captain! I can't hear you!
Aye, Captain!
Random Man. Random Man. Boys and girls, and everyone in between.
What in be Jesus was that, you random fecker?
Hey, boys and girls. Random F back in the driving seat again from the Gloucester studio. I really do apologise for the amount of time it's been in between podcasts, but it's been one of them. So I apologise now. I hope not to leave it so long in the future. Might make this show a little bit longer, we'll see how it goes. So, whilst I've been away, and not so long after I did the last show, we had email after email after email asking about whether Magical Trevor would be back again. The answer is yes. We will be playing some of his tracks, and we'll see if we can squeeze another interview in the not too distant future, but he's got a hectic schedule and it's hard work for him, you know. He needs at least a fortnight's rest after one session, so we'll see how it goes. But we've had a few questions in regarding Windows 7. Somebody's basically installed Windows 7 over the top of their Vista. No, not a bad thing to do. The only thing I would say is think if it's necessary. If you can do a clean boot, do it, because the question involves the folder that is created called Windows Old. Or should I say Old Windows, right? Now what is in that folder is basically a complete backup of your Vista operating system. So anything that was installed, anything you had saved, all your files, your music, your downloads is all there in directories, completely preserved should you wish to revert back. Why, I really couldn't fathom, but there we go. That's what Vista does, or should I say that is Vista. So if you don't like 7, you want to go back, you can go through your menus and restore it, but otherwise click delete. If there's nothing in there anymore that you want files wise, nothing that you can't just drag and drop, you know, so get the stuff out that you want and then delete it, because it will be, as I say, an exact copy. So if your hard drive or your operating system was running with 50 gig with the operating system, everything installed, yeah, that's how big that folder is. If it's 100 gig, 100 gig plus, that's how big the folder will be. So if you're having problems installing Windows 7 via the upgrade or via running it through Vista itself instead of doing a boot from CD, that might be causing you problems if you haven't got enough disk space for it to create this backup, because it doesn't shrink it at all. It is almost an identical copy of what your operating system is running now. Anything installed, anything, settings, so on, so forth. So get shot of it if you don't need it. If you've got plenty of hard drive space, then don't worry about it. You've got a complete backup there should you wish. So take your pick, but seriously, it's a big waste of space. Now, you know I love my music on this show. So I think I'm going to go back to the old school and one of my all-time favourite tracks. It's a little clip or a little clip, yeah. A little bit of rap, a quality tune. Oh, listen to it far too often, but I know there's one or two of you out there that loved that. One or two that have never heard it before in your life. Oh dear, you really do need to be educated. But I'll do a bit of that in between, rambling on. Now, another reason why it took me so long to do these podcasts was thanks to Microsoft and their updates. Not that they've caused me much problems apart from driver updates. Please, for the love of God, if Microsoft offer you a driver update, unless it is a Microsoft product that it is updating, you're better off going to the manufacturer's website and downloading the official updates from there. Because they did my audio drivers, and I had to hunt high and low to try and set everything right back to the way it was, and in the end I had to completely uninstall it, go back to the manufacturer and download and install the latest updates. Now, it's not only your driver updates that can cause problems. Now, I use a few gadgets on my desktop. Now, I use the network meter that you can get on there, the CPU meter and the hard drive meter. Now, unbeknown to me, when they come up with the little note at the bottom underneath them saying new software is available or a new version is available, get it. Don't get it from Microsoft. Again, go to their website, download it and install it, because it was causing my beast to slow down to a crawl. Now, I'm running a quad core with 4 gig of memory, more than adequate to do what I need it to do, and yet this thing was taking 5 to 10 minutes to open up a web page, all because of a conflict being caused by those 2 little taskbar updates. One was a clash with Internet Explorer 9, and one was a clash with Service Pack 1. This is for Windows 7. Now, I've never experienced, well, no, that's a lie. It's been many a year since I've experienced a program conflicting that much to cause that much slowdown. Usually it's hardware, something's dying inside the machine, but it's been a long time since I've experienced anything like that. So that's just a warning. Keep an eye, anything that you use all the time or that is running all the time, just check the versions, get your updates, go to the official websites, the manufacturers, get them from there, because Microsoft, as good as they are a little bit behind the times. And so just go the official route, don't play third party. Microsoft, as I say, have sorted Windows 7 out. It's great compared to Vista. There's still 1 or 2 little bits, but they're working on them. Now, I'd need to get some input from somebody, even if it's you getting in touch. Now, iPhones versus Android. Now, I'd like to include the Windows Phone in this, but I don't know. I can't say because I haven't used them. But let's face it, the iPhone, when it first came out, was a brilliant bit of kit. Now, I'm not saying that I've owned one, but I've had full use of one. And if you really want your phone to do all of that, great. I'd rather have a computer to do what I need a computer to do, and a phone to do what I need a phone to do. But throwing all of that and then some into a phone, great idea, but I can't see the point, because if you're out of the office and you're doing it all on your phone, then why come out of the office? Surely you're still better equipped in there to be doing your job. I'm not saying you can't make little edits, but seriously, you see people and they're hugging these things. And then you've got the latest iPod, or iPhone should I say. There's only one slight flaw with it. At release, if you hold the phone a certain way, you lose all signal. Unfortunately, it's the way that 99% of people on the planet will hold any mobile phone. Yeah, that's not really great planning there. Now, Apple products, I'm not a great fan. I'm not saying they're useless, but then Androids come along. Now, it does the job exactly the same as an iPhone, only better, faster, more reliable. So, let's think about it. Apple, sort it out. Maybe drop the prices a little bit, because as good as your gadget is, it's not that good. None of them are. Let's go out and buy an iProduct at twice the price, as we can get something just as good, if not better, if we shopped around and knew what we were looking for. Sorry, Apple, but you are well overpriced. You've got some very good rebuy tactics, but at the end of the day, it's just greed. Why stick short life batteries into products that are going to be used all the time and on charge all the time? Because people need them, rely on them, because they've forgotten how life was before they had your product. Yeah, which is where you get them by the short and curlies, because you put limited, unexpandable memory in there. And then you give them a product with a shitty battery in it. Oh, but they can't be replaced. So they'll have to go out and buy a new one. Really, are you lot out there buying them that gullible? Oh, I've got to have an iPod Shuffle. Why? Go out and get a 2 gig MP3 player. Quarter of the price, twice as reliable. But who am I to say? Never mind, eh? Right, back to some tunes. Now, I'm pretty sure one or two of you have heard of Akon. Now, I found this track and I was laughing my ass off when I first listened to it. Now, I'm guessing this may have been his first time, but I certainly wouldn't do what he's done on this track. I'll let you listen to it, but just take the words in. That's all I'll say. Oh, I love that track. That was The Lonely Island featuring Akon. I Just Had Sex. Oh, it takes a couple of listens, but seriously, if you listen to all the words, you'll need 2 listens, because you'll be laughing over certain bits, and then you'll laugh over different bits the next time round. Oh, quality little jewel that was. Right, now I've got another question here regarding overclocking. Now, the specs of the motherboard will certainly manage it. Now we're looking at a SLI, or should I say, it's a P5N32 SLI motherboard with an i3 processor, and he's already bought himself a bigger heatsink, the Thermalright Ultra 120 Extreme. Right, now he's asking what he can safely overclock his CPU to. Right, first things first, if you know what you're doing, great. Any overclocking is dangerous. Not to you personally, but to your equipment. If you don't do it right and it doesn't like it, you'll cook it. And that's it, it will stop working. But so long as you know what you're doing, realistically you should be able to overclock that to about 4 gig. I'm not saying it won't go higher than that, but what you've got to remember is any overclocking will also shorten your lifespan of your processor. Yes, you might be keeping it within working perimeters and safe working perimeters, but it will shorten the life of your CPU. So do it in steps. Take it up to 2.5, then 3, then 3.5, 4. Do it in chunks. Let it run for a bit. See how it handles the overclocking. There's no point going, right, I'm going to overclock it to 4.4, which I think would be your absolute maximum. But seriously, I wouldn't. 4, I would say, is the safest maximum you want to be aiming for on that. Any higher, yeah, it's entirely up to you. It can be done. It's just the cooling issues and the stability of it. But do it in chunks. Test each step. Let it run for a day or so. See how it runs. Keep an eye on the temperatures. Put it through its paces. Then take it up a step if that was fine. It's the best way of doing it. Otherwise, you might find that you've overclocked it straight up to 3.5 to 4 gig. You're not really keeping an eye on things, and a month later it's cooked just because you didn't slowly break it in. Now there's plenty of programs out there that you can bench test your system with. You can get hold of the demo versions, but they'll test your system graphically, mathematically. It'll test all your hard drives and it'll give you a system performance. Yeah, okay, Vista and Windows 7 have got Microsoft's rating on there, and it's strange because you get all these ratings and most of the games don't need them. Yeah, okay, everybody wants their computer to score high. Oh yeah, I'm a geek and I done good on it. Big whoop-de-fog. There's no point having a quad-core processor with SLI 2 gig graphic cards and 16 gig of memory with 3 terabytes of storage when all you do is use MSN and Facebook. Hi bro. But never mind. That's another story. Right, I think, where should we go? Educational time. Now, everybody knows that a certain word is, but don't let me spoil it. And I was a trash man with surfing bird, so now you know that the bird is equal to, if not greater than, the word. Proven. Adams West scientist. So, last question for now is, we've had one coming in saying, I'm looking to network all my computers together and I want to add my 2 Xbox 360s to the network so that if I want to play against my son, we can do this. What is the best way to set this up, and what would I need in place to accomplish this? Well, Xbox Live would be the easiest way, because to try and do it the other way, both 360s would have to be running wirelessly through laptops, running through a separate program. I think Hamachi would possibly do it. Then you need to change all your settings on your Xbox 360s to be able to run via that way. Or you buy an extra internet cable and system link them. Is the much easier way of doing it. Or, as I say, Xbox Live. If you've both got live accounts, you can both play against each other, with each other, on whatever games you like. I'm not trying to flog it, but it's certainly a darn sight easier than needing 2 laptops. Effectively, would be the easiest way. Otherwise, you would need extra network cards within your main base units. So, go for the cheaper option. This is my best advice on that. And yes, it can be done. If you really want to look into it, email us back in and I shall see what links I can get you to guide you through it. But it's not an easy task. Better off sticking to the way that they want you to do it, unfortunately. So now, back to the tunes. I'm going to make a little introduction, I think. Now, DJ Outright. I'm not too sure whether he or Magical Trevor knows this, but is Magical Trevor's long-lost Siamese twin. Now, they were separated at birth and given away for adoption, so neither of them knew their birth parents. Now, when I say Siamese, it didn't make big news because they were joined at the big toe. So, it wasn't exactly a life-threatening operation to sever the tie. But he does suffer some ailties the same as Magical Trevor. Whereas, instead of using music and interpretive dance to explain what he has to say, DJ Outright actually uses music and pasta drawings. It's one of those, it's more like hieroglyphics, but the way he uses the different pasta shapes to make and form what he's trying to portray is rather impressive. So now I'm going to drop a track on now by DJ Outright. Now, we'd love you to send you in your own pasta drawings for this track. There's no prizes, it's purely just for fun, and we won't be returning them, so bear that in mind. This track by Outright is a nice little length, so instead of playing 2 tracks now, I'm going to play this one. So for the next 7 minutes, sit back, relax, and enjoy DJ Outright and his interpretation called Bingy Blade Runner Man. Right, so that was DJ Outright there, and I'm pretty sure you've got some pretty imaginative pasta pictures coming along as we speak. Now, obviously, did mention Magical Trevor earlier, and alright, just tell you a little bit about when we went out the other night, and it just kicked off in this place we were in. We were having a stonking night, and then it just went absolutely Pete Tong. So, this is what happened after Magical Trevor made this noise. Now, it was half cross between a monkey call through being sick and stamping or stubbing your toe on the coffee table at the same time. Yeah, he just did that to get people's attention. But yeah, this is how it went. As you can probably hear, he wasn't impressed at his night being wrecked, and I tell you, whilst that was going on, he was popping caps all over the place. Mainly because it was his round and the bar had buy one get 2 free on all these bottles, so he just had to get the lids off them all. He didn't want it interrupting his drinking time. But there'll be lots of little stories. I'll see if I can get an interview. I will definitely see if I can record some of the conversations between the long lost Siamese twins. And yeah, you may not see the dancing, but I'd love to see your interpretations in your pasta pictures. As I say, we cannot return them, so maybe a photocopy or a scan of said picture that you may have made to interpret what you have heard. There's no prizes, it's just for fun. It should be anyway. Right, now, I'd like to think that most people listen to my shows through a decent set of speakers, a decent set of headphones at high volumes. Be nice, I play the music, it deserves it. Now the next track will test that little fact. Now it's by Dada Life, Unleash the King Dada, right? Now if you've got a decent subwoofer, this will certainly test it. If you think that your stereo may not be able to cope with the bass in this next track, you're better off stopping listening now, because I'm going to play this tune out till the end, and that'll be it for this week. So either save yourself the embarrassment or turn it up and enjoy. Ta-da for now, and keep smiling all. Here, Martha, I just found these S&M magazines in little Tommy's room. What do you think we should do about it?
I don't know, but spanking him's not the bestest of ideas now, is it?